Welcome yet to another episode of Grief and Loss. And as I promised, that I'm going to give you important points on the do's and don'ts when it comes to grief. The reason why I've dwelt quite much on this topic is because grief can ruin your life if you do not let yourself to successfully go through it. Because as I told you in my previous video is that the only way to overcome something is to go through it. Not to go over it, not to go under it, but to go through it, to experience it, to experience the pain that comes with whatever situation that you are in. And when it comes to grief and loss, it is not an exemption. You have to go through the pain. You have to go through the suffering so that you can heal. Pain is what brings healing. And therefore, without much ado, let us start with the do's. The first thing that you need to do when someone close to you have lost their loved one is to just be there, listen to them, and sometimes understand that you may not have something to say. Sometimes you just go try, you don't have anything to say, you don't have words to say to them, and that's perfectly okay. Because sometimes what somebody needs the most is your physical presence. Not for you to say anything, but to just be there to listen to them. And therefore, the most important thing that you can give someone who have lost their loved ones is to physically be there, listen to them, and you don't always have to say something. The second thing to do is to understand your limit. You have to understand that it's not your point to fix someone who have lost their loved one. Because sometimes when someone have lost their loved ones, others tend to think that now they are broken. They are not broken. So don't try to fix them. By fixing them, I mean, don't try to take away their pain. Don't try to distract their feelings and emotions. You know, sometimes when someone tries to cry because they have lost their loved ones and you tell them, don't cry, don't cry. No, let them do it. Don't try to take away their pain. Let them experience that pain. Because it's only through pain that we heal. If you take away the pain, they are going to numb every emotion and feeling that they have, and they are not going to successfully experience grief and loss. So understand your limit. Don't try to fix someone who have lost their loved one, because first of all, they are not broken. The third thing that you have to do is to encourage your friend to take action. Encourage your friend to do something about their feelings and emotions. If you realize that they are not able to go through the whole process by themselves, encourage them to take action. When you see your friend going back to work immediately after the burial of someone close to them, please make sure that you let them know. They need to experience that. Don't let them rush immediately to their work. Don't let them go back immediately to their normal lives. Because if you let them do that, they are going to numb that pain. That pain will continue eating them from inside out. And eventually, it will be too much for them to handle. So encourage them to take action. If it's counseling, let them go for counseling. You would better spend a few coins to shape the rest of your life. Because sometimes people don't want to seek help. Encourage them to go seek help or to take action. The fourth point, or the fourth thing that I would like you to do when you have someone who have lost their loved one is to validate their feelings. Validate their feelings. Tell them it's okay to feel the pain. Tell them it's okay to feel like they are mad at God or they are angry at God because of taking their loved ones. Tell them that it's okay to be afraid of what is going to happen next. Tell them it's okay whatever they are feeling. Tell them it's normal. Tell them they are not crazy, that it happens. When you have lost your loved ones, you cry, you feel pain, you'll be angry, and a lot of other emotions. So validate their feelings. Don't tell them to stop crying. Don't tell them to just hide their emotions. Validate their feelings. Tell them it's okay to feel whatever they are feeling. The fifth point, or the fifth thing that I would like you to do is to encourage them to remember the anniversary of that person who have died. When someone have died, their physical absence, remember I told you, does not mean that everything that you had together has disappeared with them. If that person who have lost their loved one would like to commemorate the anniversaries of maybe their wedding, if it's their spouse, if it's their birthdays, if they want to commemorate that or to remember that the anniversaries, the birthdays, and those important moments or days of that person's life, let them do that. Encourage them to do that, because that will help them to go through the process of grief successfully. The other thing is that use the name of the person who they have lost. Don't discourage them from mentioning the name of the person who they have lost. And again, when someone is talking about someone they have lost, don't tell them not to mention their name. Let them use their name to refer to them. Don't tell them to just say, my brother died or my spouse died. If that person was called John, tell them to use the word John. The other thing is encourage them to talk about the deceased, as I have mentioned before. Let them talk about that person. Don't tell them to never talk about them. Encourage them to talk about the person that they have lost. Tell them also to keep their pictures. Don't tell them to delete their pictures, or if they had hung maybe their portrait in their house, don't tell them to take the picture away. Let them keep the picture, because I've told you, physical absence does not mean that they have vanished or they are not present in their life anymore. The emotions, the feelings that they shared are still there, and the memories. So let them hold on to that. The other thing is that have patience with that person. Be patient. It's going to take time for them to heal. So be patient and encourage them to take it easy, to take it slow, so that they can heal slowly and effectively. The other thing is that understand the grieving process. We have 5 stages of grief, as I have mentioned in my earlier videos. Go look at them. Understand that they will go through denial. They will experience depression, acceptance, and all the other stages. Be aware of the grieving process so that you can help them when they are going through the entire process. So the other thing, let them cry. I have mentioned earlier, don't tell them to not cry. Let them emote. Let them experience those feelings. Just let them cry, because it's going to help them. And those are the points or the things that you should do to help someone who is going through grief. I'm going to upload a video on the don'ts, so that now you can know what you should not do to someone or with someone who is going through grief. Subscribe to my channel, share this video to your friends or with other people, so that they can also know how to help those people who are going through grief. Thank you so much for your support.